Hello, guys. I hope everyone is doing good, is doing great. I am Bricia Mayumbo, aka the Mindship Queen. I'm on a mission to help women, moms who suffer from past childhood, we've been abused, physically abused, emotionally, and also, physically and sexually. And I'm here to share on this self care day. It is a Friday, mommy day, aka self-care day. The time, the day, the moment to really take a time, take aside everything that we're doing, and we're focusing about us, as a human being, and we're focusing about us as the most important person on earth, and we're focusing about us as just like, I would say, like number one. Because again, without women, there won't be a war. Without women, there won't be, there won't be, the world will be so sad without women. So I want to talk to you guys kindly from the bottom of my heart tonight, and just kindly share with you 2 or 3 reasons why, as a mom, you need to hear. First of all, whatever you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in. Say hello so we can, tag you. We can, just respond and say hello. It is so great to be here tonight. I am so grateful. I don't take your presence for granted, and again, I don't take this week for granted. You could have been somewhere else, but you choose to tune in. Whatever you're tuning in by, but just on your way from work, from home, in your kitchen, making that nice dinner, whatever you're doing, you are welcome. You are welcome. I just wanted to say I would be really quick, I'll be brave, but I just wanted to share that with you. The reason why you need to hear. But before I go really deep and go to the details that I want to share, there's something that I want you to understand when it comes to healing and why I'm more focused. I'm more like so excited, more like passionate about healing. A few years ago, when I was just still a young girl, I lost my virginity while being, sexually, sexually abused. And as a result of that, I suffer from depression. Before that, I got pregnant. So on that whole process, I was physically damaged. I was emotionally destroyed. I was mentally, my energy, I always talk about energy, so everything was just disrupted from inside out. I needed healing. You're probably looking at me and saying that, what is she talking about? You're probably a Christian, and yes, even as a Christian, you need healing. So when that happened, again, I entered to one of the worst moments that any child can enter to, can wish to, because I was just a little girl. I describe this moment as being the one going from childhood to teenage to adult in one night, and a mom overnight. And this moment left me with scars, not only physical scars, emotional scars, and my soul was wounded. And if you're not a Christian, I'm a believer, and I'm a faith-based, and I always use the word a lot. We are told, and we know today, that the Lord wants us to prosper. But in order for us to prosper, we need to be here. And the world right now needs healing more than ever. The world right now needs healing more than ever. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why, as a mom, you need healing. I was blessed to be, to be invited in a podcast. Probably you will have the pleasure, and I cannot wait to listen to it. Once the links available, I'll share it with you. And I was asked, how did I start my process of healing? How did the healing process started? And I always say that as I was grieving, it started when I was grieving my son. And as I was grieving, my son came to me into my dream. As I was still crying, mourning and stuff, he came to me and said, "Mommy, stop crying." Just as I'm talking to you, he said, "Mommy, stop crying. I want you to stop crying. I don't want you to be sad. I want you to be happy. I want you to love. I want you to love again, because you are full of love. And I want you to keep that energy, to take care of my brother, because I already had another one at the time. So I needed to focus. I needed to refocus. I needed to get my energy. I needed to get myself together. I needed to pick myself together in order for me, I wouldn't say to move on that quickly, but I needed to really realize that it was right. I needed to stop crying because crying wasn't not going to bring him back. Crying was just creating another trauma over the top of the trauma that already being. Crying was just like, again, torturing myself because I wake up in the morning, I will have dark eyes, it's natural, okay? I will have, red eyes, big eyes. I will be just tired. I will be suffocated. I'll be like, I mean, without even talking. That's how they say. But again, it is good to cry because, again, we were given tears, okay? Because we need tears. We need to cry. We need to get it down. But crying for too long is not good for ourselves. It's not good for our soul. So when he came to me and told me that, Mommy, I want you to stop crying and I want you to love again. And I want you to go ahead and do what you were called to do. Because when my son passed away, I was already here in the States and he was there in Africa. So as even at today, I couldn't even go back to bury him. I couldn't even go back to look at him, okay? I couldn't even go back to hold my son for the last time. I couldn't even go back and tell him how much I love him. Because even though he has come to the way he's come because it was a result of, of a rape, I learned to love him. I learned to nurture him. I had to breastfeed him. I had to be there for him. I had to be there for him. Hi, Yvonne. How are you? I had to love him the way a mom could love. So when he passed away, it was like a part of me that passed away. It was like I was interrupted, after being, traumatized the first time after the sexual abuse. When he passed away, it was like a second trauma. So it was the wounded open again, reopen again. So I cried for days. I cried for nights. I cry and I cry and I cry. I remember a day driving and going to, to school because I was still going to school. I wouldn't even know where I was going. I would just cry so hard that I would just drive without even going where I'm going. And I would just read a point that was like, okay, where am I? Because during your grieving process, for those who never grieve or will never take time to grieve, you in that moment in your mind, like you kind of distort because you're in between two worlds. You're like, okay, what am I doing? You like in that moment of, kind of denying, am I really noticing, is that really the person is really gone? Or no, I was in that state because I was keep thinking that, okay, maybe not, it's not true, right? The phone is gonna ring, it's gonna call me mommy again. Something is gonna happen, they're gonna tell me it was a mistake. Something's gonna happen. So I was hoping that it was a lie. So I was living in that denied state of mind. And doing that, again, it was the stage of grieving. So I would drive, not knowing I'm going. And I would stop somewhere and realize that I don't even know where I'm going, where am I? And thank God, I never hit anybody during those moments. So you're probably there, you probably have lost somebody. And again, it has been saying that one of the worst loss was when a mom loses a child, So when I talk about pain, when I talk about healing, when I talk about self-care, when I talk about the reason why I asked the question earlier, tell me 3 reasons why you need to heal as a mom. I know what I'm talking about because I've been there. Was it easy? No. Is it still easy? No, because there are times, matter of fact, my son was born on February, on April the 10th. So last April the 10th, which was a week, for 3 weeks, a few days from this week, it was last Saturday, the memory came back again. The state of mind came back again. The emotion came back again. After being, to Corona the whole year, we've been indoor again. It's been a while that I really felt the way I felt again last week. I came back to myself again in that bubble, thinking about him. How old would he be? Why would he become in that age? He was a handsome young boy, like amazing young boy. Who will I become at that time? Maybe will I finish college and stuff? And remember I had him, I was 11. Maybe, and he was so handsome, he was so and so polite, everybody loved him. And I kept on thinking, and I started getting emotional. I started getting those pictures again. I started getting everything. Remember about the phone call that I received. I'm telling you, it's not easy. There are days, yes, I will still cry. And I think he's even talking about cry, and you're going to see that. There was a movie, like a kind of person that I honor so much, that made a movie, part of a movie about my story. And once it done finishing, it made me listen to that, just the part. I'm telling you guys, I cried. I cried listening, watching my own story. I was like, what's going on? Who is that person in front? So I was like projecting myself again back to the thing just by telling the story over again. So I understand some of you guys don't want to talk about it. It's normal. Some of you guys never even spoke about what happened to you, that trauma that happened to you 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Some of you guys never even mention it. You probably move on with your life. You probably married now. You probably, have 3, 4 children, or you never decided to have children after that. But let me tell you again, my passion and my divine purpose, and the reason I'm here, is to help women heal. Healing is my ministry. That is what I'm called to. It's all about healing. It's all about healing. How do I express healing? By the way I talk to you. How do I express healing? By the food I cook, the way I cook. It's all with love. How do I express healing? Is when I coach you, I talk to you, I listen to you from my heart. That has been here. Because when you have a wounded heart, a wounded soul, you won't be able to be open up and talk to you. I had to hear, the Lord had to hear me and send me on a mission. For me able to come and sit down and tell you my story. Was that the easy thing to do? No. I told you I just cried listening to my own story. It is something that says that you might forget, the mind might have forget the pain, but the body never forget the pain. So 3 reasons why you need to hear as a mom, as a woman. The first one, and the number one, it's for your calling. Many women until today, many women have been called for greatness. And I know that since the beginning of the world with the Eve, what happened with Eve, we've been told that we're the reason why sins were entered the world. But again, if you weren't for a woman, Jesus wouldn't be born. But that's another level of discussion. Just to say that women, we are important. You are important for God. You are important to the world. You are important to your children, your future generation. You are important, and you were needed. You were not wanted. You were needed. All right? So your calling, if you haven't found your purpose, if you haven't found the reason why, some of you guys, you're still stuck in your past. Some of you guys, your mind is still full of clutter from that past. That is the reason why you cannot see clearly. And without a vision, a people perish. In order for you to notice, in order for you to hear from God, in order for you to realize, your calling, you need to have a healed soul. You need to have a whole soul. You need to have a healthy soul. Because again, what is the Bible saying? You need to be prospering, and be in good health as your soul prosper. A lot of people, a lot of women have never taken the chance to look at themselves in the mirror. We hide ourselves from the wigs that we're wearing, the lashes that we're wearing, the makeup, we have foundation, we have contours, we have bases, all of that we put it on the top. And as I was explaining, a lot of you guys have still have an open wounded. And as you're putting all those bandage on the top, as you're putting all those layers on the top, as you're putting other things to cover, all you're doing is just creating pressure on the top of that womb. And without you noticing, it's creating, for some of you guys, a gangrene, a cancer. Some of you guys, it's creating, even a deeper wound. But some of you guys, it's being even infected because you've been covering with so many layers. How is other ways that you guys are covering? Some of you guys are covering. You went ahead and have great careers. You went ahead and, married to the most amazing man on earth, etc., the rich, etc. That's good, okay? But then you keep on covering. You never dealt with that pain. You never dealt with that wound. You keep on covering. You never even mention that story that happened to you 20 years ago. So, how beautiful. So you keep on covering that wound. You keep on covering that wound. you go get, when you grow up, you go and get a degree. Oh, I'm a doctor T, I'm a doctor Y, I'm doctor, I'm doctor this and that. So you have all those degrees, okay? And then all of a sudden you become Mrs. X or Mrs. Y, etc. Are you good? And then I don't know, you're a CEO of that. Because again, as women, when we kind of become somebody, we like to show up. It's good, okay? It's good to show up, sis, okay? You have to own that, okay? But again, what I'm talking about right now is the divine calling. The reason why you were born, the reason why you were called on this earth. Because again, remember, women, you were needed. You were needed. God brought you here because he needed you. Because again, he said a man could not be alone. So he created you because you were needed. There was a need before you came. Your calling is part of that need. Let me say that again. Your divine calling is part of that need. There is a need that you need to fulfill on this earth apart from just having children. Because our culture, first of all, the way the place that I was born, raised in Africa, etc. That's how they taught us. You get married, you have babies, etc. That's what they expect from you. If you're lucky enough that your parents invested in you as a woman, you go to school, etc. But not many women have that luxury of going to school. But again, that's how we call. That's the only thing that they see. Once you have that, you are fulfilled. But how many women doing that trajectory, doing that process, that cultural process, that following that cultural path, end up being so unhappy, so miserable, to the point that they're hating themselves, to the point that they can't even nurture because they haven't found a calling. And most of that calling cannot be found until you have cleared that wound, until you have washed away that wound, until you have really taken the time to heal. So because you know that your calling is behind that, without you taking time to heal, it will be hard for you to find your calling. Some of you guys, like me, I found my calling while I was healing myself. That's why I was told. I received a revelation that my ministry was about healing. All right. So during that process of healing process, you might forget, you might discover your calling, but you need to take time to heal that wound. The second reason that you need to heal, it's for your children. I can never emphasize that again. Today we're celebrating Mommy Self-Care Day. Today I talk about self-care day for mom. I emphasize that so much because again, as a woman, whatever you already have children, whatever you will have children, or whatever your children are grown, we were called, one of our calling, one of our mission is to make sure that we are bringing life. And one of the natural life that we have, the natural one that we do is to bear children. But what happened is there are so many wounded women on this earth. There are so many destroyed, damaged emotionally women that are moms. And unfortunately, until that you learn that a mom who's not here, a woman who's not here, she is just a poison for her family. And the number one poison she is, for example, if you're expecting, if you're already in the household, you are a poison for your whole household. I remember the story that my mom used to tell me, it was a warning, like never, ever go to the kitchen cooking a meal without you knowing that you are in harmony, you are in peace. Never make a meal on a hungry soul. You are poisoning your household. And at the time I was just a little child, I was like, what is she talking about? I was laughing. But the more I grew up, the more I get in my own household, I started having my own family, I started realizing that she was true. And I noticed that when I'm not happy, when I'm not okay, we know women, we get moody sometimes. When I don't feel like I'm my whole self, I don't go to the kitchen because the kitchen is the temple. The kitchen is where everything's happened. That's where life happened. Another part also is as we giving that breast milk, if you're breastfeeding, all right? I'm talking about a new mom right now. You are giving the same way you're sharing love. The same way the child that was inside, your womb for 9 months was taking, it was, you've been nurturing through to your, to the placenta stuff, to the umbilical cord. You are doing the same thing with your energy. You are doing the same thing with your vibration, and you are also transferring your trauma to your child. You didn't know that, but I'm telling you right now. And as you don't learn that you need to heal for your children, the reason why you need to heal so that you can give, you can serve, a happier plate, but you can also make sure that you are nurturing them from the most important energy, that is love. Because when you are love, when you are happy, when you are healthy, you'll be a happier mom. Some of the women, of the mom that have not healed, that have not dealt with the past, that have not, broke their yoke, okay, they'll be yelling at the children, they'll be cursing them, they'll be beating them, they'll be just like treating the kids like they're the reason why anything that happened to them. Guess what? You were abused as a child, maybe. You become an abused mom, and guess what? Your child also will become an abused mom or an abused parent later. All you're doing by refusing to heal for your children, you are just unconsciously transferring, okay, the same. It's like some of you guys call it generational curse, but it has been just you being the foundation of that, because you've decided, you haven't realized that your wholeness, your healthness, it's all related to your wellness. It's all related, to your children. In order for your children to be well, in order for your children to be happy, in order for you, part of it to function well, you need to be fine and well and okay as a mom. So that's the second one reason why you need to heal, heal from trauma. You need to heal. You need healing as a mom for your children. Realize that anytime you come to the house when the children are always happy most of the time, that doesn't mean they don't mess up, okay? I didn't say that perfect. I'm not talking about a perfect family or perfect house. It does not exist, okay? You create it. You create whatever, and everybody has different situation and different season. So when you meet that moment that when you go home and you always find children always screaming, when you find the children always fighting with each other, always blaming, always cursing, you notice, you observe the mom in this house. That mom is usually either a high blood pressure one, has so much loaded, she's always nervous, she's always, because again, it's all about energy. And the energy that you're bringing in your house, all right, you're bringing stress from work, you bring whatever that you're doing, even if you're working from home, and you're never taking time to take a break, to take a deep breath in out. You're never taking the time to hear. I'm telling you, you are bringing the load from the past in your house. The kids are getting fed by that. Your husband are getting fed by that. Your future husband will get fed of that. You are doing whatever you're doing based on negative emotion, and your children will be the number one to face it. Some of you guys have children that act up at school, and you blame whatever. You go and, they have HED. That's good. That's the diagnosis. But again, the next time you realize that your child has acted up like this, check yourself first. Am I okay? Am I enamored with myself? Am I well rested? What's going on in my life? Am I emotionally stable right now? Check yourself, mom, because your children are just your own reflection. All right? The last one, the third reason and last one that I'm going to leave with you tonight, why you need to hear, as a mom, is that in order for you to do, to become that what you were called to be, because again, I told you guys you were born for a purpose and you're here for a reason. You need to hear so you can serve the world in a better place. And that's why the self-care mom staff has started. That's how, when I install on every Friday, where I take time for myself, where I take time to really focus about everybody else later on, but focus about myself. And again, I always say, it's not about just the outsider. It's all about walking your inside. It's all about checking your soul. It's all about checking your energy. It's all about checking what's going on inside of yourself. Because again, the outside, it is just the reflection of the inside. Serving from an empty cup, notice, not has the connotation saying that inside of yourself you're not okay. When you serve your house and you're happy, doesn't mean that you're smiling all the time. No. When you serve, okay, and you're here, the way you serve, the energy that you bring on the table, the smile, your gesture, your body movement, the way you're doing, your body language, your words that you're using, the tone of your voice, it's totally different. When you speak from your heart, and your heart is being here, and you know that inside there's joy, inside there's peace, inside, there's that balance. You are healthy, you are a healthy soul. I am telling you, you attract greatness to you. Am I saying that you're never going to have any, difficulties? No, I never said that. That's the world that we're living in. Am I saying that you're never going to have any breakdown? No, that's part of the experience that we call life. But again, when you know that inside of yourself, you are one with the divinity in you, you are connected with the divine in you, you're serving the world in a better place. And that's what we need. At the beginning of the pandemic, I literally received clearly from the world that the world need healing. And many women, especially, are being hurt physically, sexually, emotionally. Some of them that happen in their house. Yeah. Some of them that happen at the church that they think that they believe, okay, they trust it so much. Some of them that happen at school. Some of them that happen in places that they never wished that could happen. But something happened. Trauma was introduced. But the fact that they never dealt with that, the fact that they never even spoken about that, has destroyed them little by little. The same way your trauma does not destroy you overnight, it's the same way, healing would take time. I'm not saying what I just gave you, the different steps that it happens to me overnight. No, I just shared with you just last week. Remember about my son's birthday, I got emotional because we are human beings. By looking at the picture, for example, of somebody that hurt you, you will cry again. By looking at the loved one that you miss, that is gone in heaven, you will cry. That's how it is. But again, you have to learn, to come to a place that when you say, no, enough, it's enough. I'm done suffering. I'm done having the same results year around. Because then, if you don't act, all right? If you don't act, if you don't do nothing about it, we're still having the same result. And especially from the bottom of my heart, with all my love, with all the respect, my Christian people. We are dealing with this level most of the time. We are praying. It is good, it's magnificent. We're praying. We believe in God for something. And then in a natural, there's like kind of a dissonance, We have a prayer right now, and in natural, there's nothing that is happening. There is no action following our believing. There's nothing that we're doing about what's going on. And we're praying, we're waiting. Yes, God wants you to pray. But again, He wants you also to pick up that bed and walk. He wants you to pray, but He wants you, instead of praying, oh God, I'm believing that I'm going to lose 20 pounds, He wants you to get your up and start walking the 20 miles. At the same way that you're living down, you've been crying, you've been mourning, you've been cursing that person who hurt you. He wants you to pick that trauma. He wants you to pick that wig. He wants you to get up those napkins you've been accumulating and behind your sofa or under your bed, crying days and nights over that person that left you, over that breakthrough, over that money that you lost, whatever, that bankruptcy that you had. And say what? It's time for you to clean up that mess. It's time for you to decide to hear, because your calling is waiting for you. Your children would love to have a healthy mom, instead of looking at a mom that is being abused and letting herself go through the abuse again and again. All right? And also, knowing that the world will be a happy place when you serve from a happy heart. I want that we leave with you. There is a course that I did 3 years ago that is called Ignite Your Feminine Power, that I want to give to you, that I want to bless you with. If it's something that you really want, again, I'm not going to charge you the price that I charged when I did the masterclass. It's a 3-day masterclass. Actually, it was a 3 weeks actually masterclass that I did. Either you send me a message, tell me that I want that course, or you just write Ignite Your Feminine Power. And I'll put the link also for you to purchase that. But also I'm going to be opening the membership. Yeah, the membership, for the English side for Eve Academy. That is an academy, for women. Where we're going to be talking about that whole process of healing, what I'm going to be taking you to the whole journey, where we're going to be really getting deep about, the self-care, what I do really in the background. You just see the result, but you don't know what I do behind the scene. You don't know what I do, what I did before I came here. You don't even know, what's going on, how I balance, the energy. There are days that I'm down, what I do when I'm down, etc. But it's time for you. This is the year that you have to make yourself a priority. This is the year that you have to say, what, enough, it's enough. I'm done with that I'm doing. And again, it's up to you. I'm here. Should you need a private coaching? Should you need a private coaching? Should you need a mentor, somebody to hold your hand and say, what, sis, base faith, all right? Counselor, I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help you guys. Go ahead and you can follow me on my page. That's just my normal page, but you can go on Born for a Purpose. That is also my professional page. You can go on my YouTube channel, Brisa Mayombo, Born for a Purpose TV, and also as well as in Instagram, and follow me there. And just connect. Let me know what you think about it. Are you going to apply those 3 reasons why you need to hear? Number 1 reason your calling needs you. You cannot have a calling, you cannot answer to a call if you don't, if you have a cluttered mind. Number 2, your children. A healthy mom brings happy kids. Where's happy kids? Number 3, you need to serve the world from the better place, from a full cup, from the love. Okay, that is the best and the strongest source. That's why you need to hear. I love you guys. I'm going to say it again. Remember that you're born for a purpose. So never, ever, ever compare your life, nor the season that you are in, with someone else. I want you to embrace your uniqueness and say with me, I am unique, you're born unique, your story is unique. I want you to remember that you and I are here to change the world. One mind, one lady, one woman, one mom at a time. I love you guys. Sharing is caring. Share that video with somebody that might want to listen to that. Share that with a mom, a young lady like you. Tag somebody, tag a friend. Whatever she's in Ghana, whatever she's South Africa, it doesn't matter. Or in UK, tag her and forward that. And sharing is caring. Sow that forward. That might bless somebody. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Should you have any question, let me know. And of course, the link to the Ignite Your Feminine Power will be available soon. I love you guys, and I wish you a great self-care day. If today you could not do it, you have another 2 weeks to do that, but it's important to make yourself a priority. It is crucial that you know that without a healthy mom, there won't be a healthy or happy house. I love you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, really. Thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for everyone who's going to come replay. Bye-bye.